Hey everyone, welcome to our live stream. This is Live Code Tuesdays. My name is Sohan Maheshwar. I'm a dev advocate at Fermion. And today we are doing something special, which is launch the advent of Spin for this year. If you're wondering what that is, we're going to be talking about that for the next hour or so stay tuned. We also have with us Mikkel. Hey Mikkel, welcome to the show.
Hey, Sohan, thanks for having
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. So, folks, yeah, we are going to be talking about the advent of spin. Now, this is a challenge that we did last year as well, back in 2022, and it was very successful, and our community loved it. So, we're doing it again. Essentially, every week you're going to get a new challenge here, and this challenge helps you to learn spin, challenge yourself with spin, WebAssembly, and Fermion Cloud. We'll give you some interesting challenges for you to actually work out, and there are going to be prizes as well. Mikkel, you played this last year and you were part of it as well. Tell us a bit more about it, perhaps.
Sure. Uh, yeah, so obviously the advent of spin is it's a spin on advent of code, which we all know and love. A lot of people on the team spend a lot of time with advent of code throughout the years. So to a large degree, we consider this a testament to the success of advent of code, and just wanted to add on to what we believe is a fun tradition of getting some coding challenges done, and being able to spend half an hour playing around with some new technology, but doing it in a way that's hopefully lighthearted, fun, and you also get to learn something.
All right. Mikkel, a few folks are saying your mic isn't, it's a little low, the volume. So
Okay,
either
do I
you are
need
speaking very
to?
low or you might have to increase the gain on that. Thanks,
Uh,
Bunny, Karen, and a few others for that as well.
no worries.
Folks in the chat, let us know where you're viewing this from. Um, Also, thanks for joining in the stream. We know this is reInvent week, so we're we're really competing with like a small company that's running a small conference in in Vegas. Yeah. So for today, we are actually going to go over how the advent of spin would work. We are going through a couple of challenges from last year as well, which is also a chance for us to show off code. And if we have time, we might even show off like a cool demo that Mikkel worked on, and Mikkel and a few other folks on our engineering team worked on, which is to do with components. So that's what we'll be doing. Mikkel, should we just start off with the advent of spin 2023?
Yes, I think I heard of that. Oh, Matt is about the online bookstore. There you go, Matt.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is the big reveal time, right? I think so. So you can consider whether you think about this is a planned reveal, or whether we just didn't get the PR burst
This
in
is
time.
completely planned. Yeah.
This is completely planned. Let me go ahead and I'll start sharing my screen.
Yeah. So
And
we're essentially how this is going to work is we will reveal the challenges on our GitHub page, and because this was all planned, we're going to merge this from like a private repo onto our GitHub right now on stream. Mikkel, your screen's on the stream basically, so you
yes,
can go
it
hit
should
the
be here now.
big red merge button.
So there we go. We have admin of spin here, and let's go ahead and create this. So we're gonna the first part of the live coding session today is actually gonna do a pull request. Let's give this a title. So this is the big live stream reveal of advent
This is the reverse
of
of most
spin.
typical live stream coding, where at the end you do like you check in code and do a pull request. Here we're starting with one because we like to
Yes,
do things differently out here.
we like to do things differently. Do we have like a Father Christmas type of thing? There you go. We'll put him in there. Okay, let me check. So we are gonna get from my fork. We had that thing, and we're gonna get onto. Okay, cool. We should probably. Do you wanna go ahead and review this one, Someone?
I can do that.
You probably don't have to do like all the details and everything, but there you go. Let's see. Let's see what happens. Are you actively reviewing this right now, or you just?
Oh no, I'm just waiting for. There we go. I see. Add your review.
I'm looking forward to how you're reviewing this actually.
Yeah, it's pretty much just hit the submit. button at this point of
Let me
time.
just make this a little bit bigger. Might be easier to see for people.
All right. So I'm going to say looks good to me, and I'm going to approve.
Nice.
Kids, don't do this sort of review when you're actually checking in code that's live. We
Hey,
do not
I
recommend
got
it.
an review. I'm gonna go ahead and confirm this merge.
So this means
And
that we are officially live.
there you have it.
Yes.
Admin of
Okay.
Spin 2023 is now live.
Yay.
Oh, Matt also approved this. Slack. Oh, sorry, in the chat. Cool.
Yeah.
The YOLO review. Yeah.
The YOLO review. So officially what this means, folks, is that Fermion's Advent of Spin 2023 is live with challenge number 1 for this week. All the instructions are there in the README. Essentially, you have a fairly simple challenge to do. And once you do that, there are instructions on how you can actually submit this challenge as well. All it does is involve is deploying this app to a cloud and hitting an endpoint with a particular format using this tool called Hurl. That's Hurl. And yeah, we'll just do the rest. And there are prizes for every challenge that you complete. What we thought essentially we could do, Mikkel, is go through the first challenge and maybe even the second challenge from last year to see what the flow would look like, right? So maybe we could do that for now.
Yeah, let's do that. So, and by the way, so on the README here, you'll see all the instructions that you need, and the plan is on each of the following live streams we have on each Tuesday, we'll reveal a new challenge. So the plan right now is to have 4 challenges, each for one for each week, and so once we get to next Tuesday, we will basically spend the live coding session solving the first challenge, and so on and so forth. So we have stuff planned for the next few weeks, so and that's nice. We could consider bringing in, like tag team through the company and have different people come and solving those challenges live on the stream. That would be quite fun.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. We have to do that. Shouting out a couple of people in the audience. Thorsten's watching. Hey, Thorsten. I know you're in Amsterdam at a conference, so, let's grab a coffee perhaps. We have Bunny also who likes the YOLO review. Don't try this at home, but,
Yeah.
we had to YOLO review this at least once. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
And I
Mikkel.
think one thing I wanted to call out on this GitHub, we also did this last year, and you can see David Flanagan or Raw Code as one of the contributors. He actually helped out with this whole thing a year ago. So all the 2022 challenges that you see in here is something that he did. You should, however, be able to go and do those 2022 challenges again this year, and we actually set up the back end that can sort of let you know whether you solved the challenges or not, or where you can go and submit them for those challenges as well. So they are all live and should be working. So you can see the 7 challenges from last year down here, and then the challenges from this review. We will reveal once at a time over the next 4 weeks.
All right. So should we do challenge number 1, Mikkel? I think now's a good time.
Yeah, I just want to, before we go into that, I just want to, let's maybe introduce the challenge, the first challenge we have this year.
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah.
So this is challenge number 1, 2023. And if you go through this challenge, you'll, have to work with the Spin CLI. You will use the key value store. You'll be serving static content, deploy this to the cloud, and then go through the whole test and submission process. So there's some description here, and we have the Fermion elves, wanted to help Santa use serverless for his new web apps. We have a Discord server where you can definitely join to, and if you want some help. Then the idea is once we reveal these challenges, we sort of have a specification here. And because this is WebAssembly, you pick the programming language you want to use. But for this first challenge, we actually we want a front end, and or the elves really want a front end. So the elves will go and check if there actually is an index.html file being served from your application. So you need to make sure that you serve one like that. And Santa, we believe Santa likes pretty things, so pictures of animals, landscapes, anything that has to do with Christmas, you can put on that web page. We'll actually go and scrape those, and there might be an award for the most pretty or fun or likable web page you can create. Don't spend a ton of time on designing that. I mean, unless that's what you really want to do, you definitely can do that.
So
But
the
yeah,
CSS award goes to.
a CSS award. Yeah, I like that one. But other than that, then what Santa needs help with is storing sort of the wish list that people have. So specifically, what we'll do is we will submit Matt, who's the head elf at Fermion, his top 3 wishes for this year. So you have to implement an endpoint that we can call into and store those wishes. So basically what we're doing on the back end is we're using our LLM inferencing to come up with 3 wishes that Matt has for Christmas. So it'll also be quite fun to see how that turns out. We prompted it a little bit with some context of what we believe Matt would wish for Christmas.
Yeah, Mikkel, when we were testing this out earlier, one of
Yeah.
the wishes actually was a pet tarantula, right? So I'm not sure if Matt really wants a pet tarantula for Christmas this year, but hey, Matt, if you want one, we can get that. I know a guy who knows a guy.
You know a guy
So,
who knows a guy. Okay,
yeah.
cool. But yeah, but the idea is we will post that those wishes into your app, and then we'll go and see if we can actually read the same wishes again. And because of the whole stateless model of spin, you would need some persistent storage for that. I mean, the challenge sort of suggests you can use key value store, but basically you could do any kind of persistent storage you want. If you wanted to do SQLite, you could do that. If you wanted to, write this off to remote Postgres or MySQL database, or something else where you can persist data, definitely do that. But key value is a simple one to do. So that is the first challenge of this year. And once you're done, you can actually run the submit script, and we will go and try out and test your application. Well, the Fermion Cloud elves are the ones who are testing your application and making sure that everything is implemented to specification. But by the way, we had a little bit of trouble getting it back and up and running. So if you have issues with that right now, just let us know in Discord, and we will see and look after that. Okay, but since this is a live code session, we actually wanted to do some live coding. And what we agreed on is that we wanted to go back and look at the challenges from last year, right, Sohan?
Yes, that is correct. And for folks who aren't on our Discord already, there's the link right there. Join in. There's been a lot of chatter on our Discord community, which is so awesome to see. So yeah, join in. For the folks, I saw a few folks just joined in the stream as well. We just announced Advent of Spin 2023, which is a fun gamified way to learn Spin and WebAssembly. We announced our first challenge just now, basically, like literally just now. And we're going through some of the challenges of last year to see how it really works. Because, we need to do some live code. Challenge 1 is pretty simple though, Mikkel. So, but we should do it. We should do it.
That is hopefully that is the one guarantee of success in this live coding session that we've had. Since neither Sohan and I are employed by this company because of our coding abilities, then it's kind of brave of us to do this kind of live coding session. I believe so. Let's see where this goes. But anyways, this should be something that we should be able to do. There's always ChatGPT on the side if we need some help. Okay, so challenge number 1, and basically this was the challenge from last year. This was a very simple one to just get us started. And I think what's good about running through this now is you can see how the whole Hurl thing works and how the backend submission and everything works. So in this case, basically we just wanted to push it a little bit beyond Hello World. I don't think we pushed it a lot, but a little bit. So the backstory here is that the elves decided last year that Santa wanted to migrate away from the Arctic web services. But the legacy system were built to be API first. So what we want to do is we want to change this by deploying our first JSON Hello World API endpoint. So what we need to do is we can write this application in any language, but the application must send back a response with the content type application JSON and respond with a message that has a key message and a value hello world. And then we have these test scripts that we could actually run. Okay, so I think probably what we want to do is we want to take a look into let me go ahead and just create a new directory here. I actually think that I've been doing a lot of demoing lately, and I've had some scenarios where I've ended up having old templates, I realized. So maybe I just want to make sure I get my spin installation up to date. So I think one of the things that I can do here is I can go ahead and upgrade all the templates that I have on my machine, because some of them may actually be out of date.
And Mikkel,
Yeah,
while
I
you're
even
at
have-
it, do you mind increasing the size on your terminal a little bit, perhaps?
Sure.
Yeah, there we go.
Is this better?
Yes.
Cool. You can see I even have templates that I probably installed locally, but that's okay. So go ahead and update some of these templates that I have. And so these templates come from many different places, right? So we have this whole template system in Spin, which is part of the developer experience, you could say. So if I do a Spin templates list, I actually have a lot of templates installed. So these are all like the various triggers and programming languages, and there are some which are, just components that I can use directly, like the KV Explorer, Key Value Explorer, this QR code generator in here, a redirect, and a file server, and these other things. But what you notice here is that it actually goes and installs these from GitHub. We could just quickly peek into one of those. And
I'm going to give a quick shout out, Mikkel. We have Rock Code Academy watching us as well. Yeah, David, we just gave you all a shout out earlier.
Hey, Dave.
For folks watching Rock Code Academy, aka David Flanagan, amazing YouTube channel. Check it out. Do subscribe to it. Also built a lot of actually most of the 2022 advent of Spin, right? So if you're trying out the challenges from last year, it was all built by Rock Code Academy, and he did a fabulous job. So yeah, thanks for watching, David.
So in any GitHub repository, there's a convention where you can have a directory name templates, where you can then host these various Spin templates in. So that means you can actually build templates for particular use cases, the templates you want to share within your with your friends or within your company and things like that. And you can sort of see how we've done this in some of our GitHub repositories. So here's the HTTP trigger TypeScript template. These templates have metadata. So there's a template.toml file that talks about the actual template ID, what's part of it, and what parameters you want the user to add when they create this or when they use this template. And then there's the actual content, where you can create sort of the boilerplate code that comes with the template, and you can basically do like this. This is a fully functioning. This is typically a fully functioning Spin component at this point in time. There might be something in here where I guess this is handlebar type of style templating, if I'm not too far off there. But you can see how this is how the template system enables us to feed in some of the parameters that are being put when we do Spin new, and sort of where do you want to put them into your spin.toml, where do you want to put them into your source code eventually, and all these things. So basically, you can build any template you want. Maybe that's actually a good topic for a live coding session once, Sohan, is to build a template for a particular use case.
Thorsten's going to write a blog post about it as well. So maybe we can have you on the stream, Thorsten, to explain how you can distribute custom templates for Spin.
Okay, cool. That was just me totally derailing from what we were doing and talking about templates. But let's go back here. And you know what? Let's do Spin new. And for anyone who's done a lot of Spin 1.0, we changed the Spin new command in terms of how you I think we used to do Spin new and then app name, template name. Now there's a -t or -- template for the template ID we want to use. So let's say we want to use a TypeScript HTTP trigger template, and then let's say this is admin of Spin 2022 challenge 1. We can get away with no description. Did we need to do anything particular about the path? Do you remember that, Sohan? Maybe we should actually,
no, this was for any path, right?
Yeah, we could actually look at the Hurl file, the test file here. So what you can see in these Hurl scripts is actually pretty cool. I've seen when David introduced this last year, and when we did this, that was the first time I learned about it. But basically, what the Hurl script describes is, what's the actual HTTP call you want to make, what's the status code we expect, and are there additional assertions that we want to make about the response that we get back. So this is sort of the specification spelled out in that way, that we are going to call on the root path of the application. We expect to get a 200 HTTP code back, and we want to check that there's a header with the key content type and application/JSON, and that in the body we can actually find a JSON key message and with the value hello world. So I think we're okay saying that this component just responds to anything
There's no path,
in the root path, right? That's just
Yeah.
a wildcard. Okay, so we call this Advent of Spin 2022 Challenge 1. Okay, so this is, let's do VS Code.
Yeah,
today.
and again, quick shout out to Bunny has actually said, I'd love to understand that process about creating templates. I was about to try building a webhook Discord bot on Spin and would gladly make a template for it. Bunny, that would be amazing. So we have this thing called the Spin Up Hub, and maybe Mikkel can open it in the browser, where you can actually upload things like templates and libraries and plugins so that other folks can use it. And I think something like a webhook Discord bot is the perfect thing for it. So yes, please go ahead and do it. Yeah, and if you want to create like a blog post around it or something, we'd love to feature it in our newsletter as well. So yes, please do so.
Yeah, let me just, I'm not. Okay, I just wanted to get into the chat. I'm going to send this over to you, so, and I didn't connect I can't get into the other chat, so.
Yeah.
So the link of the webpage I'm showing right now is the documentation that talks about how you build spin templates. So if you want to pass that on forward, that would be good.
Oh, that's amazing, Bunny. Yes, would love to actually see one of those. So yeah, hit us up on our Discord if you need any help with anything.
Yeah. By the way, this is the Spin Up Hub. So Spin Up Hub is developerfermium.com/hub, and you can see various types of things that have been submitted here. Some of these are templates. So there are templates for, there's a SQLite Explorer. That's actually true. I just forgot about that one. That one is pretty cool. That actually enables you to run SQL queries against your Spin SQLite database. There are some static site generators, QWIC, Solar, and other things in here. And then there's also a lot of samples in here. So checklist application sample written in TypeScript and so on and so forth. So yeah, shout out to Spin Up Hub, and it's open for anyone to submit things to the Spin Up Hub to showcase the great work that you may do.
Yes. Back to challenge 1.
I'm getting so distracted all the time, so I just need to reset here. Okay, so we created this application. We have spin.toml. I am the author. There's no description. There's a name. This is the new manifest version. So if you've seen version 1 of these manifests.
Did we lose Mikkel?
We did some changes here that set us up for, to potentially support multiple trigger types along the way, and also how we will work with WebAssembly component linking further on. But for now, some of these changes that went in the Spin manifest is they're all in the templates. That there are no functional differences between what we did before and what we do today in 2.0. So yeah. Okay, we got the links working.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do we have in here? So first reminder is that we haven't run npm install yet, so let's do this. Am I in the right place? I am. So let's do npm install, so we get the Fermion SDK in here. And now we should see code actually being able to, there you go. So now we have the module. Okay, so we have the handle request returning a response. So let's go and take a look at what the spec actually says. Okay, so they're gonna ask on root, so we don't have to do anything particularly because we saw in spin.toml that we're actually handling root calls with a component called admin spin 2022 C1. So this is the component down here. And what we want to do is we want to return a status code 200. We are already doing that. We want to return a header. Oh, this is interesting. Do you think there's going to be something about casing here?
The capital type.
Let's fix this.
I was testing this out, and I know with the hello world you have to type it exactly as is.
Oh yeah, hello world is I've seen it as well. This could turn into a whole discussion about what the RFC says about these content type headers. I don't know if anyone wants
we promise not to be too controversial on the stream, Mikkel. So.
Okay. But let's break this one. I don't know why, but I sometimes spell word with a W. This looks. Oh, this is actually not. This is actually.
We
not
need the
forward,
JSON, right?
It actually has to be JSON. Do we want to do fake JSON?
That might not work. I think we might have to do JSON string if I.
Do we need to do that? Okay, let's just stringify this thing, and then we can say. Then we can just add it in as a. Then we can.
Yeah.
We can just do an object, right, and it becomes
yes,
a string.
message.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and this one would be message, and then the message would be hello world, like this, right?
Yeah, I think we can put the message also in quotes. I don't know if it'll error out.
Let's see. We'll try.
Let's see. We'll try.
Okay. So far, so good. So what we need to do now is we need to spin build this one. And this is now we're going to run all these. So we actually have this JavaScript to WASM plugin that we built for Spin, which is how we create these the WebAssembly components out of JavaScript. Basically, there's a well specifically defined. We are exporting what you call a JavaScript module with a very particular signature that we understand how to compile into WebAssembly. That's basically part of what this plugin is doing, which is why we are also using Webpack to create to export this one JavaScript module. It's actually a good thing to know, because if you run into we have some limited debugging capability with WebAssembly. And what's particularly hard about the JavaScript TypeScript thing that I always run into is that if I get if there's an exception being thrown when you run this, you will see that the line reference is not what I have in my index file over here. The line reference is a reference into the JavaScript module that we create as part of running the JS to WASM. So if you want to figure out what line is actually being referenced, you have to look at the spin.js file that's created in the dist folder up here. And here you actually see the output module. That is the one that becomes the WebAssembly, and basically the actual handle request function is down here somewhere. So anyway, that was just I guess almost like an insider TypeScript, JavaScript piece of advice. But yeah, let's just go ahead and curl this to begin with, just to make sure that it actually works, and then we can try and run the test.
The one thing is, I think with Hurl, they have deprecated the wildcard asterisk, so we'll have to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So we curled that, and what did we get back? That doesn't seem right, does it? It's not. Did I? Oh, you know what? I never saved this one before I built it.
Ah.
That's so funny. So just before the stream, Soren and I was doing something else, and we went into this thing that sometimes happens where you forget to run spin build before you do spin deploy into the cloud. So it's really hard to. This was kind of the same, just in a different way. Okay, there you go. And I think we can check whether that's actually it's Java. Sorry, it's actually JSON. JQ can actually pass that one. Okay, that looks good. Okay, so now we want to run the Hurl script. So let me do this. I'm just going to copy this over, and we can create it up here. Actually, I don't want to do that. I want to do this out here. So let's call this test.hurl. Let's add this in. You see we have to get rid of this one?
Yes.
Like this?
Yeah.
Okay. Now I saved it. And then we have the application already running up here. And Hurl localhost, that should work. Like localhost and 127 and so on. So we can do Hurl, and then we want to do test, right? -- test. Let's go back and see what it actually says over here in the challenge. Maybe that has some good information.
And again, if you're taking part in the advent of Spin, this part about Hurl is mentioned in the README as well, and it's pretty straightforward to follow.
Okay, so Hurl -- test.hurl.
Yeah.
Failure.
But it's the capital
And
W.
we kind of knew, right?
Yeah.
We're messing around with that string. That's okay. Do we want to fix the test, or do we want to fix the actual code? Let's fix it. You know what? I want to figure out if this content type thing was actually a thing. So I'm just going to see if I can actually mess this up again. Let me do spin. Well, we should actually be able to do spin watch here. So spin watch, there might be a little knack here because we don't have. Okay, we can. Okay, let's talk about this then. So spin watch is a command that watches for any file changes. So if you sort of visit this loop of writing code and saving and testing and so on and so forth, when you run spin watch, the watch command will watch some files by default. Actually, let's go and take a look at the documentation to see what it says about spin watch. When you get to our doc site, so developerfermion.com, you can do Command K on a Mac. I assume on a Windows that would be Windows K. That will bring up our search.
Yeah.
And that's actually a pretty nice way to find the spin, find anything you need to search for in here. Okay, so spin watch. That is actually not what I wanted to. Try again. It's just a reference. Yeah, I think this is the one I want. Monitoring applications for changes. Okay. So the spin watch. Okay, so it watches the spin toml file. So basically, if I change, we can try this now. So we can see spin watch is monitoring over here. If I change it into spin.toml file, that should actually reload the whole application. So those changes are being picked up. If things that are specified in the component build watch section changes, or component files, component source. Okay, so we actually don't have the watch section down here, so let's go and change that. And anyone out there also want to code along, you can go and submit a PR to this template to get the watch to get watch in there. So it's actually watching for changes to TypeScript. But I think we want to do something like this, right? Source.
Yeah, a couple of asterisks. Yeah.
Is it 1 or 2? It's just 1, right?
2/.ts. Yeah, I think 2 is the.
Okay, did that pick up? Did it rebuild? It did not rebuild, did it? Right, let me try again. Oh, that's because now we messed it up. Okay. Oh, this has to be an array. Sorry.
Let me just check my.
Because I can have multiple integers in here.
Yeah.
Okay, let's try again. Okay, so we have spin watch. Now we should be watching for changes to anything TS in the source folder over here. Oh, Thorsten has.
Yeah, because if you have multiple TS files, you can do but this also should work. Yeah.
So we do */
slash star.
And then star.ts. And then, package.json as well. Yeah, that's a good one. What's it? It's packages, right?
Package.
Package.json. Okay. Now we should actually see the watch. So watch is not picking up the spin.toml file change. That's interesting. But we should be watching these now. Okay, So let's go over here and let's actually try and change this to C. I'm gonna save the file. Okay, and you can
We're
see
being
we're
cheeky.
rebuilding now.
Yeah.
Sorry?
No, we're being cheeky and seeing if it'll break or not, right?
It didn't break.
It didn't break.
That's
Okay.
interesting. Okay, we probably don't want to dive too much into that. But anyways, but I guess content type header keys are not case sensitive. I actually think there's something about, yeah, I was diving into this at one point. I have no idea why, but whatever. They are not, but the actual message is. But we actually successfully completed this challenge by now.
Nice.
So
Yeah, folks who just joined in, because I see a few of you all have, we're talking about Advent of Spin. And this is a fun challenge where every week, starting today, on Tuesdays, we're releasing a new challenge for you to try out Spin and WebAssembly and Fermion. And there are prizes as well. So check out our GitHub. The link is somewhere here, and you can get started with it. Speaking about Hurl, Bunny and Michelle. Michelle, thanks for joining in. Bunny also says, I realize Hurl is not your product, but this is first heard for me. So many tools, so many tools. 100% the same thought process here, Bunny. I hadn't heard of it up until Advent of Spin 2022. But then I checked it out, and it's a really cool tool, Mikkel. You can even chain API requests. You can do assertions, and all in just like a simple text file. So,
yeah, I mean,
you learn something new.
Yeah, and I think we actually did that in challenge number 1. This one has a few more tests. They're not they don't carry over values. I think that's part of what you can do. Like you can have variables that you carry forward. Yeah. But basically this has the 3 tests for the first challenge here for 2023. So, first we're checking that there's an index and we want a 200 reply. Then we try to post some value. We want a 201 created reply. And so on and so forth. So you can have these multiple tests that go along, but I'm pretty sure you can carry data across all of these. I think the last thing I just wanted to show here is what I would then have to go do is use the submit Hurl. And this is actually a cool thing that David Rawcode, who created this last year, found out. So we have an application we run in Fermion Cloud, which is sort of the backend, the submission application. So we ask you to post to that in-app application and give us the URL for where you deployed your application. And then basically our application will go and run the equivalent of what is in the test Hurl script against your endpoint and sort of check that everything is okay. And then we'll go and make a register or register that this application endpoint solved the challenge. Now, if you want to, maybe you want to talk about the prices, so on, and then I can go ahead and deploy this app in the meantime.
Sure. Yeah, we have 4 challenges. So we're going to have prizes for each of the challenge. So if you complete a challenge successfully, you'll probably win a prize. And we have cool exclusive Fermion swag to give out. We also have prizes for things like most creative and best looking and things like that, and other categories that we'll probably decide on the spot. So yeah, let the creative juices flow. Things that are a little prettier with Christmassy spirit thingies probably have a good chance of winning. But we also want to, give away prizes for people who have completed the challenges. So yeah, just try it out and let us know what you think.
Cool. Yeah. So in the meantime, I just deployed our application. We got a URL back. I can either just change the service URL directly in here, but you can also run the Hurl script with the parameter or with the variable. Sorry. So you add in the service URL. If you add this arrow format long, as you run the Hurl script, you actually see the response that comes back, and that might be fun if you want to see Matt's wish list from that challenge one, what he actually wants for Christmas. Yeah, we've had a lot of fun with that. So let's go ahead and do this, and we could then do Hurl. Whoops, and let's just do all the stuff in here. So we'll do I can type that arrow, format, long, and then we just want to call the submit Hurl, right? Okay, let's see what happens. Hey, success.
Yay.
There you go. Our application has now been validated by the app end, the backend. So we actually set up the backend from last year as well. So you can still submit to those. I mean, if we have a lot of submissions, there might be an award for who finished most challenge from last year. who's the most ambitious being late, I guess, or catching up. So go ahead and do that. But we also have the backend for this year set up.
Yeah. We're going to be generous with our prize giving. And as Karen mentioned, our head of community, the prize for Challenge 1 will be a spin denim tote bag. Again, very exclusive. Yes, Michelle, extremely exclusive. And hey, do the challenge, complete the challenge, and you have a really good chance of winning a spin denim tote bag.
Did we? Did we wanted to set up a form so people can actually let us know what they submitted specifically?
Yeah, it'll be part of the page and
Okay.
the blogs and other things soon.
Yeah. So make sure once you submit, go back to the GitHub. We'll have a form where you can give us some of the details of shipping if you were to get a price. The only thing we'll need to know in that form is what the application endpoint you actually deployed to, so we can check on our backend that challenges were actually completed. Great.
Mikkel, so here's a challenge for you. Shall we do challenge number 2 at least, or at least half of challenge number 2?
Oh, you want to do challenge number 2?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, let's try that one.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I actually wanted to go ahead and do that other demo we talked about.
Oh, okay. We could do that as well.
We can pick that up another time.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so this is challenge number 2 from last year.
Mm-hmm.
What do we need to do? The second challenge will introduce you to extending challenge 1 with route parameters. Okay, adding a second service. Outbound HTTP for service-to-service calls. Okay, there's some background about proof of concept, that the else they want to understand how multi-language components feel to develop and deploy. So they want the Hello World API to accept some personalization, and they want to ensure the casing is correct. Oh man, we have to do some logic here.
Yeah, we can actually just do the first and second part of this challenge.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So first of all, your application must return HTTP 404 if it gets a request on route. Okay, so I believe there are 2 ways we can do that. We can either handle that in the actual handler. So we could do something like, if, let's see. So if what's it called? We have a request dot URI, and then I guess we would split that and just check the path and, hand it off to other functions. That's one way of sort of building a router. That would be manually building a router. I believe we do have a router in here as well, right? I think we do have a router for TypeScript, and we do have a router for JavaScript.
We do, or we can just keep it like super easy and just in the spin.toml, just for a wildcard, do nothing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to mention these options at least. But if you want to go look at the router, go look at some of the examples in the SDK repos that shows how these routers work. Yes, it's built on IDI, David. It's an implementation of the IDI router. But we can also use Spin's way of sort of fan out, like, various paths in URI to different WebAssembly components. And this is really where, like, if you want to do A, B, or C, like between all the choices that we just talked about, it's really just a matter of like, how do you like to structure your code? Like you can be, I've heard some people refer to some of these things as nano services. There is really very little stopping you from, I'm just trying to think through that. If I wanted to go as far and have a separate WebAssembly component to get and post on a particular path, I can't do that today, right? Spin.toml doesn't allow that. But as long as you're on the same path, then you can basically have each individual path being served by a different component. So I think the easy one to do is to not have a route serve anything in the root, right? Because I think at that case, let's say if, for instance, we just said that this component is only serving /ts. Now, if I went ahead and we can get the watch up and going again.
You'll get a 404 from the,
Yeah, and I go ahead and just do that. Well, I guess Is it
minus I think.
minus I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see I get a 4 or 4 not found, right? So that's really the easiest one. So like we don't want to, because that basically means that the way that we set up spin.toml is sort of like I don't know what to call that, exclusive by default. Like, only the specific paths that we have defined in spin.toml are the one we serve, and then spin just takes care of the rest and 404ing on anything else.
Yeah, I think David also says that's his preferred approach too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think from me as well, when the SDK itself is taking care of that, I would rather do that than write more code where there's more chance of errors and stuff. But again, that's just a personal preference.
Yeah. I know there have been a feature request at one point if we wanted to have the spin host runtimes router being able to understand the different HTTP methods, but it's not a thing we've done yet. But I think there's probably an issue out there if people are interested to discussing that. Okay, so let's go back to challenge. So we need to expose an endpoint / lowercase. So now I change the route for this component to serve lowercase. So I think we can use the same TypeScript component to actually implement this. Okay, so we want to have content type application JSON, and we don't care about casing. So that's already done. We need to accept the post request with a JSON body containing a value property and then return the payload. Okay, so I guess what we need up here is I don't think there's anything we have to do to accept the post request as so. We can check it if it is a post request that we get.
Yeah.
We probably want, I mean, if we only want to solve the challenge and not achieve too much, we can just just
accept the input payload, right?
Yeah, just take a body if something is there, right?
Yeah.
So let's just say you want to call this payload.
Sure.
I know you have this thing about variable naming in this in this show here. So we can go to the request and we can get the body, and this is the thing we want to decode now, right? Isn't this where we want the decoder?
Yeah.
So we want a text decoder. How is it we do that? Do we declare this as a constant up here?
You can do a encoder equal to new text encoder or something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Const new encoder.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we want to get constant up here. The const decoder is equal to new text decoder, and then what we want to do is here is we want to say decoder.decode the body, and then we basically get the payload, right? And then we could, if this is JSON, we could probably do some things that JSON just pass, right?
Does TypeScript do that automatically when you do request.body? When you do request.method, for instance, you'll get if it's a get or a post.
Let's do our preferred.
Let's do
deployment method and just log this into the console and see what happens.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we need to, well, there actually should be a, let's see, there should be a Hurl test script in here. Let's take that. Oh, wow.
And we can remove the rest at the bottom.
Yeah, we'll just do this one to begin with, right? I'm just gonna overwrite the one we have. So basically now we're just testing that we get some posts. Okay, that worked, and we actually have this as JSON now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now we just do a 2 lowercase.
So, is that the whole point? I didn't read the rest of the challenge. Okay, so we want to have, so the basis down here is basically just going to be payload to lowercase. No, how do you do that?
It's a dot to lowercase.
Yeah, but can we do that in here?
Oh, because it's
we probably can't.
We can, yeah.
Just,
add an extra step.
Huh? You want to do another variable? The lowercase payload?
Yeah.
So anyways, this is why you want real engineers doing these things.
And the thing is, every week my crappy coding skills are publicly exposed. So,
How do we do this?
That's not fun.
Is it 2 lowercase like this?
No, 2, there's no underscore. It's just 2, capital L, capital C, and brackets.
I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And then the message. Now
Thanks, Bunny.
You're doing good. Thank you. Okay, we saved that thing. This guy is now doing what it needs to do. And there's probably something in the test script that actually. Oh, we didn't get the assertion in. That's why we were successful before. That's
Yeah.
okay. Let's add that. Okay, we also want to check that this is actually an HTTP 200. Whew, this is going to be interesting. We got a 500. I don't think our lowercase thing worked. It's not a function.
Thorsten says it's payload dot value.
Oh, it's because.
Oh, yes. You're right. Missed that.
Oh, because the
Two
payload
lowercase,
is
yeah.
JavaScript, and then
Yeah.
now we can do the
Now you do 2 lowercase, yeah.
two lowercase. I don't know why the.
Actually, we have a nice question, Mikkel,
Auto-completion.
from Bunny, which
Let's
is,
do
do you
the
find
question,
that?
then we can do the big reveal of whether we actually solved the
Yeah.
challenge, not afterwards.
Do you find most of Spin users are JS/TS or decent quantity of Rust, Go, Python, etc.? I'll tell you what I've noticed in the 6 months or so that I've been with Spin, at least, is lots of Rust, at least in terms of interest, because also our SDK is built in Rust. But Mikkel, you'll know better for sure.
Well, I think what we know, so Spin, the open source, like it's an open source project, right? And we mainly know this based on the conversations we have with people. So there's like, we don't have actual telemetry on what's happening there. But I do know that people who have sort of engaged the most and built some of those real applications we see out there are predominantly Rust users. Raw code is giving us some information here as well. Oh, okay, you can pass it to an interface. Yeah. So I think people who build the more serious type of workloads around Spin are predominantly Rust users. There is, and I think the main thing is the language support. Like Rust is by far the best supported language in WASI today, and in JavaScript and TypeScript, again, you saw that part of the WebAssembly compilation tool chain is something that we build, and there's actually a bunch of stuff that we don't support in those languages today. So that is so depending on what you want to do, like, you know, if you want to do some real workloads today, you probably want to go with Rust. We are actively working on a project called JCO that will help give us far better support with JavaScript and TypeScript, and hopefully that within the next few months or so that we can move our SDK over to that, which will also actually give us support for doing real WebAssembly components in JavaScript, which is another big thing, and probably something we want to do a live stream on again soon. So Rust is the predominant one, and the one with the best support.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Bunny, I mean, honestly, I don't know if that should change your decision on which language, but also maybe this could be a good way for you to pick up some and learn some Rust as well, right? Because you've written the Discord bot already in like Cloudflare workers. So yeah, it could be that. Yeah.
Cool.
And
no worries, man. Thanks for the question. Like that's
thanks for no. This is the point of a live stream. There's no such thing as hijacking a conversation in a live stream code. Yeah. So thank you.
I see that even though that David talked about implementing interfaces and doing all that, what we did here actually worked. At least we passed the test.
We changed the test, but we passed the test.
Pass the CS exam, but that's a different question.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, there's just one other piece of this challenge I think which might be interesting to touch on, which is, you know, we want to expose that second endpoint. So the thing that you can do here, and the path that we took with Spin and Toml, is basically to add a second component, right? So we could do spin add, and then we could do HTTP, and for the sake of, I don't know what, we can choose to use Rust. So again, you see add, we choose a template, and we we do the name, we can do a description, and then we can say this one is actually going to listen to hello, and I think we want to have
With the wildcard. Yeah.
yes, we want to have the wildcard, so this would be 3 dots, and you can now see we got a new directory here. By the way, a side note on this thing, we're struggling a little bit with this. When you do spin new, you default to create your first component in the root of a child directory that's been created from when you run the spin new command. But when you run spin add, you're actually in that directory, so you end up having a little bit of a weird structure where the first component you created owns the root, and then the second component is now a subdirectory or child directory. So I know some people, in particular the CTO of this company, Rado, he always does an empty. He creates a new spin application based on an empty template, so you get that root directory, and then he has all the components in individual directories. But anyways, there's probably a GitHub issue discussing this, so if this is something, feel free to let us know what you think, and we can figure out if we want to change this. But yeah, we can see that our spin.toml now has the second component down here, Rust, and we have the Rust source over here. And I don't know, what do we need to do here? We need to get application JSON
Content
in that
type.
one.
Yeah.
And well, okay, let's not drag you to the pain of us trying to do. Well, we could actually cheat here and just like text our way to put some JSON in there. But I'm not going to drag you through my Rust coding skills here right now. But what we can see if we go back and run watch. So this is interesting because spin.toml did change again, but my watch didn't execute. We should look into that.
Yeah. But you put .rs, Mikkel, is that why?
Oh,
So
but
that's why I didn't
the
look at
point
the
is
TS.
the spin.watch should also trigger a rebuild, or
Yeah.
at least a reload if the spin.toml file changes. And the spin.toml file did change when we added the second component.
Right.
So. But we can see we now have the Rust thing listening on hello, and we can curl that, and we did get an application/JSON content type back, but we haven't implemented the JSON part of that.
Thorsten's also a fan of just the spin new empty and then adding components.
It's-
I should try it
uh,
out. I haven't tried that actually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's make a club. Let's
Let's
go
make-
and all vote on that issue and
Yeah.
get this done, because I totally agree. There's actually this is a really long one because we changed the whole spin new here up until 2.0, and I think there are even issues talking about whether there's such a thing as spin init and what spin init would do, and maybe this is what spin init would do. I don't know. There are various opinions in this one. It's really just a matter of preference and style.
Yeah.
I think what I like about it is like it's really easy to fix once you start it. But
Yeah, I mean, it's cool that I think in the comments itself we have like Rajat who uses Golang, Bunny has used JavaScript before, but also Rust to build their webhook bots. I think the cool thing with WebAssembly is like you can sort of pick up any one of these languages and just get started. So yeah, try it out.
so since we're talking about these bots right now, can I show my favorite demo? It's like really quick.
Yes.
This is my favorite demo. So, I see, Bunny, you haven't tried to build these things in Wasm yet. Like, what's really cool about the way that we run this in Spin and Firmware Cloud is that the WebAssembly component is not loaded until the actual request comes in, which means that every request is basically a cold start. But because of the speed at which these things load, there really is no cold start. This is I have a Slack bot that runs in Firmware Cloud. I think I used this yesterday. We can go and check out my logs in here. If I go to my Friday bot. So yeah, yesterday evening, almost 24 hours ago, this was the last time this was used. So this isn't running hot or anything, and it never is. But the speed at which the cold start, the actual invocation of this application runs. So as soon as I hit enter now, it's gonna reach out to the webhook, a reply comes back, and this is how fast it goes. Like I actually think the Slack backend and my app in Fermion Cloud, it has to be in the same data center with the speed that this goes. But this is how quickly these bots, or how quickly the API endpoint or the webhooks that we implement and run them in Fermion Cloud, how quickly they can respond.
Nice. And on that, there's a question by Bunny, which is, can the watch list use exclusions? Something like watch, but don't watch, like the git ignore and all
It
that.
cannot, but I'm pretty sure that there is an issue with that one because
Yeah, I remember reading about it somewhere.
I might have filed that one. Let's take a look. Watch. Hey, there you go. Yes, I have some scenarios specifically where that was a thing. So yeah. Hey, it's a good first issue. There you go. So if anyone is up for starting contributing to Spin, this might be a good issue to look at.
Nice.
Yeah. Cool. I guess over to you, Sohan.
Yeah. Well, folks, first of all, big shout out to all of y'all, basically, who are part of the stream. Thank you so much. Second is Advent of Spin is officially kicked off. So go to the link that you see there, github.com/fermion/advent of spin. And yeah, just start with the challenges. Start building. You have one more week, and next week at the same time, same place, we'll release challenge number 2. And 2 weeks from now, we'll do challenge number 3, and then eventually challenge number 4 as well. Yeah, that's pretty much it, I think. And thank you so much for joining. I know Bunny, Thorsten, Rajat, Michelle, Rockode, Karen, everyone else, in case I missed someone. Thank you again. And yeah, Mikkel, any last words?
No, actually not. Well, I do have an elf already, like over in my tree here, like a
Nice.
So this is
Okay.
actually kicking off the Advent season here.
Yeah. All right. Cool. We'll see you all next week. Thanks again, and see you soon. Bye.
Bye bye.